you've all been waiting for. It's time!
Welcome to the show where the screams collide, where blood runs cold and the shadows hide. Each week a fight, two films will clash. Last week's champ, will it burn to ash? The Roasted Snow Horror Show, where fear and gore will always flow. One film wins, one must go. The Roasted Snow Horror Show. Lights go down, the fight begins. Which nightmare takes the final win? You pick your side, we'll break it down. The Roasted Snow, the goriest showdown.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Roasted Snow Horror Show. I'm your host, Ryan Rosted. Everybody thinks my last name is Roasted. That guy is Chris Snow, the snowman, the sexual tyrannosaurus.
I'm going to
We
get
are
that tattooed right about right here.
Oh, that was hot.
That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. This is hot. That's hot. That's hot. This is really
You can't do that online. We're gonna get restricted here if you keep doing that. Yeah, well, this is where fear and dread go head to head. And if you're new, this is all unscripted, so who knows what the hell we're going to talk about. But for the most part today, we're going to talk about Sisu 2, Road to Revenge. And this is basically the Finnish John Wick. If you have not seen the first Sisu, I don't think you need to see it to see this one, but it surely helps because it is the first one, came out of nowhere. It's just, hey, have you seen this movie about, and I think it was even explained to me as the Finnish John Wick. And I'm like, well, hell yeah, we'll go see that. Thank you guys for all the support that you've done over the last few weeks. Our downloads keep going up. We're getting more of an audience. So we truly appreciate that. And with that, Chris, I have to tell you that we had a little bit of a war going on in the comments on Facebook with our Shelby Oaks versus Dream Eater episode.
Bring the heat, baby. Let's go.
It's weird because like our Sinister episode had but only 8 comments. They're like, hey, Sinister's great. Black Phone is good too. Like everybody was very, kumbaya in that thread. And then I go over to the Shelby Oaks and Dream Eater one, and you'd think we had shot their puppy. They're so angry. And the comments were just making me laugh so hard because there is not a clear winner on this. It is, so I'm just going to pull up a couple here.
We started up a hornet's nest with that, huh?
We did. I know. Every day it's a new comment. It's like, I posted this 2 or 3 weeks ago and it's still going. So I love it though. So everybody that commented, and if I butcher your name, I am sorry, but thank you guys for commenting and giving your take on these movies, because there is no right or wrong answer. It's just, I want to know why.
It's all love, baby. It's all love.
So, Christian Edwards, he said, I was very disappointed with Shelby Oaks. I'm convinced that Mike Flanagan only makes good TV series. His movies are ass. Now, a lot of these comments have to do with ass, which it just makes me giggle every time. And Christian, I can see where you would think that. But Mike Flanagan actually just, he put his name on it to produce it. So it's not like he directed it or anything. So I don't want to get it twisted there. But we'll move to the next one. This one, there's some back and forth here because Damian Adams said Shelby Oaks was trash and it got 9 likes. And then Jeff Lindgren said, I don't understand all the hate for Shelby Oaks. It wasn't a 10 out of 10, but I thought it was pretty creepy and entertaining. Also had 9 likes. What am I supposed to do with that? That is
Thank you,
split
Jeff.
down the middle. And then we have...
Kind of like we are.
Exactly. Yeah. It just... And then this one's a Shelby Oaks and a Keeper one, which is 2 separate episodes, but I love it. This is from Baba Yaga. And again, I hope I get that right. So, don't hate me if I don't. But he said, gotta finish Shelby.
You know
but
what the Baba Yaga is, right?
No, enlighten me.
Bro, you were just talking about John Wick. John Wick's name is the Baba Yaga, the boogeyman.
That's right. See, I think of him as the boogeyman, not the Baba Yaga. I think of, okay. Well,
Baba Yaga.
Here we go. So Baba Yaga, boogeyman. Wow,
I see what you did.
I just lost all credibility for this episode. But he says, gotta finish Shelby, but that Keeper movie was ass, man. All that hype and all those directors who said the good things about it were all talking out their ass.
Love it.
We have Baron Samedi.
Ooh, another great. Can I just jump in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Another great reference there. He's referencing the Bond villain from Live and Let Die. Well done.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So we have the boogeyman and a Bond villain? Fuck yeah. So he said, Shelby Oaks put me to sleep in the theater. Just started Dream Eater a minute ago and waiting for it to get good. They just got to the cabin. And then they commented again. Said, okay, having finished Dream Eater, it's more of a jump scare movie, while Shelby Oaks is more of a mind fuck. Fell asleep on both of them, though. It's just more of the same. Both are worth watching at home for free. So that comment's kind of all over the place. But they did get it right with where Dream Eater is more of a jump scare and Shelby Oaks was a kind of a mind fuck. So I totally get where they're coming from there. And here's another, it's a string of comments here, and I don't know what to do with these. Renee Hernandez says, Shelby Oaks was a solid 4 out of 10 for me. It had a clever plot, but wasn't scared at all one scene. The one scene where the old lady is behind them in the basement, that's about it. I'll check out Dream Eater. Then the next comment, Stuart Robinson said, Shelby Oaks, good. Dream Eater, worst movie of the year. Then Damian Adams said Shelby Oaks was trash. And John Barber said, yep, trash is right. Yeah, so those are some of the comments that I wanted to pull out this week. You guys are awesome. They made me laugh so much. Anytime you want to compare a movie and just say it's ass, I will always giggle. So thank you for that. So really, it is split down the middle. Not saying either of those movies are going to be at the top of our rankings once we hit Halloween, but it got the discussion going.
I love it.
I want to talk to the one that fell asleep during both of them.
Yeah, maybe there's a common denominator.
It's a sleeping disorder. It isn't the worst thing you could ever have. I'm just not allowed to fly an airplane or drive a car or work in a gun range.
Hey, you know what? Hey, if you're tired, you're tired. I could sleep anywhere. I got to tell you. But yeah, so thank you guys. Keep those comments rolling in. You'll see throughout this episode, I'm going to throw links on here that you can click on. One of them takes you to our Podbean page, which kind of gives you all the episodes and where to listen to them. You also on Instagram, we have Facebook, we have YouTube. So you'll see these pop up throughout the episode. So feel free to click on them. Tell your friends all the support. We love it, guys. We're spreading across the country. We actually got a lot of downloads in Maine recently, which my mind went to. Yep, my mind went to Welcome to Derry, because that series just keeps getting better and better. And I think we'll probably do a deep dive on that and maybe just the It movies in general once that series is over. But again, guys, keep them coming. We love hearing from you, whether you agree with us or not. I just love reading all the comments. So again, everything is asked.
So good.
Love it. Awesome. Well, man, how you doing? How you feeling about things, about Sisu?
Really good, man. I mean, I'll never forget when I saw the trailer for the first one. It was actually Mikey's brother and his friend Abe and I were out watching a movie, and the preview for Sisu came up, and all of us were like, it kind of came out of nowhere. We're like, what's this Sisu character? Because all it was some Finnish dude absolutely slaughtering Nazis, and that's never a bad thing. So, and took place during World War II as well. So all these things that I love, I'm like, I am definitely in for this. So when I watched the movie, I was like, yeah, this is nice. And what should I say? Nice and bloody. Yeah, there's certainly plenty of the red to go around. So definitely was excited when I saw that they were going to make a sequel. Who doesn't love a good revenge story, by the way? So yeah. Sisu 2 Road to Revenge. I mean, I'm hooked from the title just the get-go, so was happy to check this one out.
Yeah, and you touched on World War II. I mean, I think the joke's out there is like once you turn in your mid-30s, you either get obsessed with smoking meat or World War II. And it's like, I love any World War II movies. Like Inglourious Bastards is one of my, even if you don't stick to history, like Inglourious Bastards is great. And even on the horror side, like Overlord, like that's that's
we'll definitely do an episode about Overlord.
I love Overlord. And there's some other ones. There's it's called like Dead Snow or something where Nazi zombies come back. Zombies? Yeah. So there's a lot of
Dead Snow 2.
Yeah, that's Road to Revenge. So there's so many of those movies, and World War II for sure always catches my interest. And
I went down that route rather than the smoking meats.
Right, same.
Mikey went down the smoking meats. Hi, Mikey.
Mike, what day is it, Mike?
Hey, Mike. Yep. You just I guess we got to have him on the show sometime. I don't know.
Definitely.
Maybe He's always a name drop. So, put a name to the face here now that our ugly mugs are on TV, are on the screen now. You know, if you're still watching, thank you.
God bless.
But yeah, so I went that same way. The World War II route, just the history route in general. Like I'm fascinated by it. So anytime they can tie in a movie, whether it's historically accurate or not, like Braveheart, I love that one, even though it is one of the most historically inaccurate movies of all time. So.
Correct.
But I love it. Had a good time with it. Patriot, same thing. I love a good war movie. And if you can put, and again, this one isn't really horror, but we're talking about it because of the blood and the carnage, and it can fit in under that umbrella. And I didn't see the first one, the preview for the first one, until my boss, John's Jingles, he told me to check it out. I was able to watch the Red Band trailer on YouTube, and they don't hold back on that trailer.
No.
And so I was kind of skeptical because I'm like, all right, are they just going to show everything in the trailer? Was not the case. And the best thing about this movie is the main character, he does not say a word until
he's kind of like
the last...
Ryan Gosling in Drive.
Right, yeah,
Drive?
yeah. Just
he doesn't say shit the whole movie.
Mm-hmm. And this guy, same thing. And it's like if John Wick didn't talk. And it just in this movie, the Sisu 2, and like I said, I'm going to try and stay away from sequels, although next week's episode is probably going to be Five Nights at Freddy's 2, because there's not much else out right now in horror. So, and you're a video game guy, so I think we'll just go with that for next week. But so sequels are tough, but this one, I think it's going to make it a little easy on us because it is a solid entry, at least in my opinion. I think it dives more into the character. And it's really hard to, have a character that does not speak that you truly, genuinely care for, and you understand his motivations, and you want him to succeed. And in this one, obviously we'll get into spoiler territory here, but basically the spoiler-free version is, which we got to go through a little bit of Sisu 1. Basically, his family has been murdered. He is in war-torn Finland. It's been a while since I've seen the first one. Right, 1944. So the Nazis are actually leaving their occupation of the area, and he comes across. He's just a guy minding his own business. He's just chilling, and he comes across this gold, and he wants to transport it.
We should say he's ex-Finnish Special Forces turned gold.
Yes, yeah, oh yeah. No, he knows how to fuck people up.
Exactly.
There's a legend about him about how he destroyed the Soviets, but he is the most mild-mannered guy. He just is chilling. So in the
he's
first
an old
one,
dude. He's like 60.
He's old. Yeah. No. So the joke is that he's John Wick's grandpa, which I love that distinction of him. So in the first one, it all centers around he is trying to transport this gold that he found.
I have much gold. That is much.
And he runs into this Nazi camp that's leaving, and he ends up going after them, and because they try and steal his gold, or they do steal his gold, and so he goes to get that back. So there, it's a revenge flick in that sense, and the way he kills some of these guys is absolutely incredible, like
brutal.
The one that sticks out in my mind is he's underwater with the dude. He slits his throat, and then he sucks the oxygen out of his neck while he's underwater to survive.
Right,
it's like
sucks it out of his.
And you have to have some suspension of belief because, how realistic are some of these kills and shit. But yeah, he doesn't say a single word throughout the whole movie. He kills all these Nazis. He stabs a guy through the head. Like, there's so much shit that goes on here. There's also a dog. He has a dog, which John Wick parallels there. And he ends up getting the gold and taking it to the bank. And he says something at the end of the movie. I can't remember what he says, but it's a happy ending. He's all good. This one pulls at the heartstrings because the motivation is a little different, little more close to home. You find out that his family in Finland was murdered horrifically. It's war that's happened for real and a lot of people. And he has a run-in with the Soviets. And it's real.
We should say too. So essentially, the land that's been the Finnish land that the Nazis have occupied, they didn't turn it in 1944 at the end of the war. They didn't turn it back over to Finland. They actually turned it back over to the Soviet army, or I should say, they turned it over to the Soviet armies. The Soviets occupied the land,
right?
And these are those damn dirty Reds. These aren't the
right.
The wall has not come down. This is 1944. It's the damn Reds.
The KGB. Yeah. So It's really cool because he's come to terms with the fact that like, yeah, his family is gone. So he goes to his home and he takes it apart, the wood,
Log by
he takes
log.
it down log by log, and he wants to transport that somewhere new. We don't know where new is yet, but he wants to make a new home, but with the same pieces that he had. So he brings that with him, which already tugs at the heartstrings. Now, this movie's called Road to Revenge, and it's somebody called it was like Mad Max Fury Road because it truly is a road trip. And word gets out to the Russians that because this guy is a legend in these circles in this
The man
area.
who refuses to die, they call him.
Yes, and they get word that he is on their land, that he is around again. And they actually find the guy that killed his family. And
Dragunov.
he's in a Serbian prison? Is that right? He's
Siberian prison.
Siberia,
Gulag.
Yep. And they get him out, and because they want him to finish the job because he is the one that killed this guy's family brutally. And so there is that sense there, and they meet up and shit goes crazy. Spoiler free. That's the only way I can say it is much like the first movie. I mean, I did spoil the first one a little bit, but you should definitely check it out. Even if I told you the exact plot, everything, you would still have a blast watching it. And this was a movie that I don't think a sequel was necessary, but I'm so happy that they did it.
Because they did it well.
They did it so well. Because when it's a sequel like this, you do have to up the ante because people know what to expect on it.
And if the first one blows you away, you know that you have to go really heavy if you're going to do a second.
Right. And I mean, we're going to be talking about John Wick parallels too. And, because at least for me, John Wick flew under the radar as well. Like it was really word of mouth. That was it was like, you gotta check out this movie where Keanu Reeves just fucks up everybody. It's like, kill his dog and you got to take him out. So yeah, not sure what else more I can say. Spoiler free. It is just a damn good time. So if you have not seen it, turn us off right now, come back, listen to our take on it. Because we're about to get into spoiler territory. So Chris, take it away, brother.
Jump in, man. So you kind of kicked it off perfectly. So we find our hero who doesn't returning back to his land that had been ceded to the Soviets after the war. I should say after the Winter War, where his family had been murdered. And he does exactly that. He wants to disassemble his house. He wants to take it with him and build it up again somewhere safe, to honor his family, to honor his murdered family. And it's kind of a sense of closure for him too. So it's, we're closing the chapter of life where I slaughtered all these Nazis and did all these things 2 years ago. It's 2 years after the first movie. But it represents closure for him. And we do circle back to that at the end of the film. But again, you nailed it. When the Soviets find out that he's on their land, they send a tip to, I should say, the KGB. Find out he's on the land. They send a tip to the Siberian Gulag that his nemesis Dragunov is held up in, and they want Dragunov to, like you said, finish the job. And I do want to say that putting Stephen Lang in this role, fantastic. I really like Stephen Lang as an actor. I mean, he's the villain in Avatar, if you guys aren't familiar. But Stephen Lang is a picture perfect example of if you take care of yourself, you don't age out of doing roles like this. That dude's almost 70 and he could pass for 40, like a jacked 40-year-old. The dude is unstoppable. Perfect casting choice. But Stephen Lang plays Dragunov, the man that murdered not Sisu, the man that murdered our hero's family. So they send him after him. They wanted to finish the job. He does catch up with him as he's trying to cross the border. Because again, it's a road trip. He has his old house broken down on the truck. He's driving away. He's driving to where he wants to rebuild his home. Dragunov and the men do catch up with him and intercept him. And our hero brutally murders all the soldiers. He doesn't kill Dragunov, though. He spares him. And now
because he's unarmed.
He's unarmed. And we should mention too that our hero doesn't know at this time that Dragunov is the one that killed his family. He has no idea.
But that speaks to his character because he's like, I'm not going to kill you because you're unarmed. And it's like, and that's where it separates from like, whereas John Wick is like this, just this killing machine. This guy, he has a code. He has a moral compass. He is only doing what is absolutely necessary. However,
he wants to survive.
Yep. And however, if he had known that Dragunov was there and that was him that killed his family,
the movie would have
been a different story. But
we'd have had the Michael Bay music play. And what I've done has been done. It's over.
But yeah, he definitely he only spares him, and yeah, fucks them all up. And it is this interesting dilemma because, you know, put yourself in those shoes. It's like, I'm this Russian soldier. I'm going to go confront this legend that has taken out entire platoons.
The
Like,
man
I'd
that
be shitting my
refuses to
pants.
die.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
Yep.
kill this SOB.
Why are we talking to him? Just let him be. Let him rebuild his house. Let him get his gold, whatever.
He's
the hell.
not bothering us. Let's not bother him.
Exactly.
Live and let live.
Yep. There you go. Yep.
But to your point, it does create a dilemma, the fact that he lets him live, because Dragunov certainly doesn't have a change of heart about it, because he sends air units and all these other things to chase our hero down. And it's a pretty cool action scene. So you said earlier, it kind of harkens back to like Mad Max Fury Road, another great flick. I love Mad Max. Great action scene to, you know, our hero's trying to get away from all these things that are running him down. But unfortunately, he is pushed off a cliff in his truck with the house, pushed off a cliff into the water. And you know, obviously all the logs and everything from his house kind of fall off the truck. You kind of think like, how's he gonna get all the things back? And this guy goes to your suspension of disbelief as well. But he ends up taking the beams and the logs that make up his house, and he makes a raft out of it. He straps them together and makes a raft out of them.
A castaway raft out of it.
Yeah, fantastic, fan-freaking-tastic. So that's how he survives going in the water. It's great. It's a cabalito.
God, yeah. And then he gets to shore where there's a tank that's broken down, and he uses. Sorry, I can't talk about this without laughing. But
It's insane. It's so insane. It's so insane.
Uses dynamite to chuck the tank over to the Soviet border, and then on top of that, he takes a knife blade and he sticks it in his own wound to conceal it. So again, suspension of disbelief. It's like, oh Christ, what's he gonna do? And yeah,
he's severely injured in blowing the tank, using a barrel of dynamite to lift the tank and blow it across the border.
Yeah.
And yeah, before he's captured, he takes the knife blade and just sticks it in the wound, buries it in the wound.
Yep. Surprise.
So it's nice. Yeah, it's nice and safe inside this gaping flesh wound. Is like,
oh yeah, and then he's captured. You know, obviously he's not in very good shape right now. And which, I mean, even in the first movie, he gets to a point where, and you're just so exhausted for him at this point. You're like,
I mean, the man
Jesus,
is
man.
62, 63. I'm like, I would be tired doing half of this stuff. I can only imagine this.
Dude,
poor
I would have
bastard.
died. I would have died minute 5 of the first movie. So Dragunov, he brings him on a train and starts torturing him and reveals that, you know, hey, I was the guy that killed your family, you know, and obviously our hero, he's very distraught by this. He's able to escape, and of course he retrieves that knife that he held.
In a rage, he's able to break through.
He is just, you know.
Now that moral compass we were talking about earlier is still there, but now that he knows Dragunov is the one that killed his family, he's not really willing to spare him anymore. He just goes into a rage. It's pretty great.
No, and I think there's probably some internal regret for just not finishing the job.
Because remember,
earlier.
he doesn't say anything. He doesn't talk.
Nope. So, but you can read his motivation through his eyes and through his acting. It's phenomenal for not saying anything. I mean, you know, you think that. And I read something with the director of how he wanted to make this a silent film, but knew it wouldn't sell. So he wanted to bring like the Finnish culture and everything to the movie. So, and I think that was done extremely well. But yeah, he fucks everybody up on this train. And then I'll let you talk about, because there happens to be a little missile.
So I'm going to say too, before we talk about this, did you ever see the film Broken Arrow with John Travolta and Christian Slater?
I did not.
Okay. Because this scene, the climax of this film, literally almost, it's not shot for shot, but with regard to what happens to the missile and what happens to the bad guy, literally the exact same thing that happens in Broken Arrow with Christian Slater and John Travolta. So give it if you guys are listening, those of you, check it out. Give it a watch. It's actually pretty good. It's the mid to late 90s, John Travolta and Christian Slater, when they were both still at the top of their game. So quick aside there. But to your point, Dragunov, remember, he's been he's been in the Siberian Gulag all this time. So his loyalties aren't really to Russia. They're not, or I should say the Soviet Union. They're not really to his handlers at all, because Dragunov,
they're for him.
Yeah, they're for him. He's wanting to get out. He's as angry as, you know, he's as angry as being in prison as anybody else would. So he actually kills his handlers because he wants to escape. So he kills his handlers. He gets onto the main car of this train. He's going to use it to make his getaway. So he's going to disconnect the rest of the train, use the car to get away. Well, as our hero is pursuing him, there is a missile in one of the train cars. And this is, again, one of those fantastic, you kind of got to suspend your belief, but it's really cool how they did it. Our hero activates this missile and uses it as a booster to catch that part of the train up with the main car so he can catch Dragunov. It's so awesome. So he activates this missile.
Ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous. It's still strapped to the train, by the way. It's still strapped to the car. So when he catches up and they collide, it's just boosting this train because it's still attached to the cars. When they catch up, they have an awesome final fight. Again, I said earlier that Stephen Lang can pull these roles out really well. And of course, we have our hero, who's doing a fantastic job being an old kind of version of John Wick's grandpa, as he likes to say. But they have it out in a really cool final fight. Dragunov kind of gets the upper hand and knocks our hero back to the missile, which is still actively firing. And our hero does the coolest of the cool thing. He disconnects the missile from the train car so that it can actually fire forward. It fires forward, catches Dragunov, and shoots off to kill him. It is so damn cool. It's so damn cool.
Ridiculous.
And I want to say that that's what happens to John Travolta in Broken Arrow. Christian Slater activates a freaking missile, and John Travolta, his final look is he's kind of psychotic. He looks back towards the camera with a smile on his face, and the missile just catches him. It just shoots him out the train. It's awesome. And that's what happens here too.
Man, it's so ridiculous, but it's so fun. I
love love these over-the-top bombastic, there's no possible way this would happen kind of thing. I love that.
Right. And like, obviously, like the Fast and the Furious movies, they've tried to do shit like that. And that just doesn't hit for me anymore. But like, you throw a random Finnish grandpa in going after Russians or Nazis doing shit like this, I'm all for it. And so he ends up using the train car to, use the rest of his home and take it to Finland, back to where he's going to set up shop. And what I thought was a really cool way to end the movie, and it was pretty heartbreaking actually, because he's getting ready, and then these people start approaching these guys. You're like, oh fuck, what now? Like this, just let this guy be. And it's actually all these people that are willing to help and want to help him. And he gets emotional because no one has, at least in the time that we've known him, he hasn't had a shred of help from anyone. So it was a very nice ending to this movie on how he can just finally, after all this time, can just take a breath. Not through a guy's neck that he just killed, but an actual breath.
It brings his humanity full circle because
it really
to
does.
Your point, he hasn't had there's been no warm hand at any point.
No, and you have felt bad for him for 2 straight movies. He is just, it's truly his road to revenge, but he didn't seek out this revenge. That's the whole thing. It's not like this movie, like other movies would be like, okay, hey, I got through these Nazis who were trying to take my gold. Now I'm going to go and find the people that murdered my family. And no, he just truly wants to move on with his life. But hey, if you're going to be served to me on a silver platter, I'm going to take you out with a missile.
And even better, when I find out that you're the one that killed my family, it's a win-win for me.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, thanks for telling me that information. I truly appreciate that. Yeah, some people in these movies make very, very curious decisions especially if they know who this guy is.
There's a little bit of a cliche to all of it. It's very James Bond in that I've got you now, so I'm going to reveal my plan and who I really am.
Right.
And then
it's
the Deus Ex
Dr.
Machina
Evil
enters. Yeah. $100 billion.
Yeah.
I killed your family.
Yeah. Why don't you just shoot him in the head? That's not how it works, okay?
I got a gun in my room. I go, bang, bang, they're dead. You just don't get it, Scott.
So it's like, hey, they could have killed him how many umpteen times. And yeah, it's just, again, when I saw that they were doing a sequel to this, I didn't know what to think of it because, again, it's like it was such a good standalone movie, but they did it so well for a sequel. I don't know if there's room for a third one. I don't know how many, who else was involved in World War II?
Yeah, I can't imagine how this poor bastard would get roped into something else.
Right.
Especially after building his house. Are they going to come tear his house down again and take that away from him? Just leave the man be.
Right. I mean, and his dog is throughout it too, and you just hope nothing happens to the dog. And yeah, so definitely check it out. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how you thought this one stacked up to the first one, and then we'll do our normal rankings.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of recency bias, right? So having seen this one, I haven't seen the first one recently. Back when it came out, right? So there's a little bit of recency bias. That said, I will also say that the first one was, the template of it was, like you said, very John Wicky, but it was original in that it's a Finnish, the filmmaker, I can't think of his name right now, but he said that he wanted to put like Finnish filmmaking on the map with these movies. And I thought he did exactly that. Like, the template is awesome. I love that it really throws back to, like, you remember the 80s action films that we love, Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and just, they're not afraid to be bloody and they're not afraid to show guns and stuff. Like, it feels cliche to say, but that stuff, there's still a place for those kinds of movies,
There is.
It harkens back to, walking into the living room on a Friday night and your mom's gone to bed, my sisters have gone to bed, and my dad's watching some action movies from the 80s and you can sit down and watch it. That's kind of the vibe I get from the Sisu movies, particularly from the first one, because, that's the first one introducing our hero and everything that's going on. So I will say I think the first one edges out for that reason, because when it comes to the style of the movie, the cinematography, of course, like you said, I think the actor takes a step forward in this one, because you read his emotions through his face because he doesn't say anything. So there's a little bit more heart to the second one for sure, but it's really hard to be brutally murdering a bunch of evil Nazis.
Right.
So
Now,
I think the first one edges out a little bit for me.
Like the Red Army, that's not great either. But yeah, like Nazis are evil of all evil, and just the way he goes about it. And I'm with you on that. I think it also edges out Sisu 2, because the original edges out the sequel, because it slapped me over it came out of nowhere. I had no idea what to think of it. Watching it, I didn't want it to end. These movies are short. They're like 90 minutes. I think the second one is 89 minutes.
Quick trips.
Like, when you leave a movie going, man, I wish there was 30 more minutes of that. That's a great thing, because I guess sometimes it could be a deterrent. But yeah, in this case, that first one, it surprised me so much. And while I did love the heart and soul that the second one did, the first one will still take the cake. And you talking about like the old school action movies, and I don't know why it popped in my head, but one that I thought of was not old school, but more modern, and it has the comedy aspect. It has a little bit of everything. Is Hot Fuzz, and the action sequences and that at the end, and the stupid one-liners that they say. It's so over the top, but it's so fun when you can watch a movie and just like laugh at the stuff that's happening in this carnage. That's fantastic. I definitely think it is a recommendation you need to see. It won't be our recommendations that we have at the end, because this is just a standalone. It's on its own. Yeah. With that, what any final thoughts on Sisu 2?
I just want to again recommend them. I would say this too: the movies that we talk about, that we get to talk about in this podcast, I would dare say we recommend all of them, because I think
we haven't come by one yet.
We haven't come by one that we wouldn't recommend. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that'll change as more horror movies roll out. We get a chance to review more of them. But yeah, this is another one that it's obviously not horror. It's very action focused. But it's one that I definitely recommend. The acting is fantastic. The story's great. It does pull at the heartstrings on this one a little bit more. There's more depth to it than there is from the first one. But you just, for me, you just can't beat a good old fashioned action flick like this. That I'll recommend on that merit alone.
Absolutely. And that this is where it gets a little tricky, because we do have it going head to head against our other champions. Shelby Oaks for you, Bugonia for me. And I had a difficult time with this one, but I think the edge for me still goes to Bugonia, just because I look at the suspense factor and this and that. And while this is super duper fun, and it may even be an overall better movie than Bugonia was, I'm still picking Bugonia, as just because the feeling I had leaving that theater on that one. Whereas Sisu 2, I knew the basics of what to expect, and I knew I was going to have a good time no matter what. And it was actually going to take a lot to disappoint me on that one. For me, that's where it's going. Well, what about you?
So I'm going to disrupt the fucking gravitational shift of the earth here.
Let's do it.
Sisu 2 is actually going to edge out Shelby Oaks for me. On this one, let me tear into this a little bit.
All right.
Now, this is a once in a blue moon situation, because number one, this is not a horror film by any means. Number two, how I have built up Shelby Oaks over the past 3 to 4 weeks since we reviewed it.
Did the comments bully you out of this?
Nope. Eat my shorts. There's a uniqueness to this, and I said it when I was kind of breaking it down. But the way that this movie can do the things where it tugs at your heartstrings, it tells a great story, but it also just harkens back to that 80s action movie kind of thing, where it's just a straight action flick. that does something for me that, like I said, it's a once in a blue moon thing because we typically wouldn't review movies like this for the horror show podcast. But this edges it out because this is just so damn well done. The acting is so damn good from our protagonist. I love that there's more of a story to this one that you can actually kind of relate to and see what's going on. Stephen Lang takes everything he does to the next level, which is fantastic. And for all those reasons, as much as I do like Shelby Oaks, this is going to edge this one out, because if you asked me today, hey, are you going to sit down and watch a movie? Are you going to watch Shelby Oaks or are you going to watch Sisu 2? I would say I'm going to watch Sisu 2.
Okay. We got an upset. I don't know if it's an upset because
this was a fucking 10-round knockout because no one saw. I know you didn't see this one coming.
No, I didn't. I thought this was going to be status quo. And actually, I went back and forth on mine quite a bit because just the ultimate deciding factor for me was just, like I said, my expectations. I didn't really have anything for Bugonia. Didn't really know what to think of it. I was actually just kind of going to throw it away and be like, okay, hey, we'll talk about this. It's a light week. We'll do it. And then it really surprised me. And that to me has more of an effect than if you see a movie, you kind of know what to expect, and it ups the ante on that, because this one definitely did. But with saying that, I am putting Sisu 2 at number 2 on my list. It is right behind Bugonia, and maybe next week I might call for a rematch. I don't know. We'll see. It's our show. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
You damn right.
But that is awesome. I love a good upset. I love a good surprise. Because Shelby Oaks, that was every week. Every week of this show. Are you a little sentimental about that? Saying goodbye? Or
just a titch. I mean, it was an Ali Sunny listen kind of thing. No one expected it, and then here it came out of the blue and just knockout punch, baby.
So this is crazy because this is a horror show. Your champion's an action movie. Mine is a sci-fi movie.
And
it's crazy. It's crazy. We don't draw this up at all. We have no idea. So I would be interested to see what could take these up, because eventually we're going to have the same favorite. At some point, we are going to have an undisputed.
Absolutely happen.
And it was this close this week. This close, because I went back and forth. Next week, we are going to be covering on Friday. It's going to be another sequel. I know we said we're not going to do it, and we mentioned it earlier, but Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Did you play the games at all? I assume you did.
Bro, I'm sitting in front of my PC right now. I've got Five Nights at Freddy's right here in the corner of the desktop. You know it. So it is so horrifying. I can't finish it. It's terrifying.
Oh, man. So I never played the games. I know the lore is like crazy out there with all the spinoffs and everything. So when they announced a movie and like I saw the trailer, like I knew the gist of it. Like I knew like the game is like a security cameras at this old pizza joint, like Chuck E. Cheese style animatronics type thing. So I went into that first movie just judging it on the movie, and I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked it. I didn't like the fact it was PG-13. So not crazy about that.
Yeah, go for the hard horror movie. You can do it. Come on.
Yeah, you can do it. Easy. So I am excited to see this sequel. I thought the trailer was really good. And plus, you can't go wrong with Matthew Lillard.
Any circumstances, say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back.
I'm getting another beer. You want one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
You can't go wrong with Stu Macher, with Shaggy. You can't go wrong with him. It is, which I believe he's in this sequel, but he was great in the first one. So it's funny because like my nephew, he's in middle school right now, and he's all about Five Nights at Freddy's. He knows all the lore.
He's braver than me.
So I might have to tap into his brain a little bit before we record that, just to see where it stacks up. But I also think it'll be a good mix here, because you can bring the video game aspect of it, and kind of tell us a little bit about that, and then I can look at it straight from a movie aspect. But what were your thoughts on the first movie compared to the games?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a difference between how the games kind of function and how the movie's presented. I think the reason they were able to make a movie out of it was because the games became so popular, obviously. But the way the games function is you play the security guard in a room, and you're able to look at all the cameras. And you're through sound bites and voice memos from the old security guard. As the game progresses, you learn that the animatronics walk around at night. They won't move while you're watching them. So you have to flip between different security cameras as they're approaching the security room, and make sure they don't get too close to you. Game's full of jump scares. It's definitely terrifying. Like the premise sounds almost silly, but it's so well done and so well built. It is terrifying. They do a really good job. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. So keeping that tension present while you're playing the game is really important. It's hard to match that in a movie, just because to keep it tense in a film for that long and that amount of time, you eventually run into burnout. But it's fun that they did it. It's fun kind of the way that they approached it. Again, they can lean into the R rating. I wish I would go for an R rating and lean into it a little bit. I think I understand that it might alienate their audience a little bit because, like you said, middle school kids and those folks are familiar with the game, so they're kind of the audience they're kind of targeting, so they don't want to lean too far into the R rating. But there are some elements of what those animatronics do to you if they catch you that you could make some pretty cool R-rated stuff out of. But I love the idea. I love the interpretation. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Like the first scene of the first movie, I gotta go back and watch it this week, but I believe it's like if somebody gets their head stuck in the animatronic and it's like, and then they cut away. It's like, that's where if you just lean into it, and you talked about it during the Predator episode and how people are scared to go to that R rating. But like you said, I agree. This one, they definitely have a target demographic. And the first one, I think it streaming and in theaters, and it actually did really
COVID film, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it did really well at the box office, which was surprising because like I'm just gonna watch it on Peacock. You know, I don't need to go to the theater and spend, whatever, $30 there. I'm just going to do that. So obviously sequel is greenlit. I love the cast of the first one. Obviously I said Matthew Lillard, but you also got Peter Malak from
Josh Hutcherson himself.
Games. Yep.
How's your rash?
And then I can't remember the actress's name, but she was back in You. I don't know if you saw that show, You, on Netflix.
So Call Me Crazy. I feel like I'm the only person in the world that hasn't watched it.
Dude, you'd have a blast.
And I know it's right up my alley. It's true. It's serial killer, all that stuff. Just kind of putting a little bit about myself out there.
I mean, the first season is fantastic, and she's really only in the first season, but so the cast is great. I love it. So interested to see where they go in the second one. I know the trailer really freaked me out with they have like the little toy that was like, come find us. So I'm interested to see it. I'm glad that one of us has a history with the games and can bring that to the table.
We might have to throw in some sound bites from the game next week's episode.
That might be your job then.
Yeah, I'll give you some good ones.
But all right, with that is Sisu 2, your new champion, mine second in command. So now we're going to go to our recommendations. So our last episode, if you guys missed it, Chris talked about The Thing, a absolute classic. And then I brought to you Frozen, not the Disney one. It's a ski lift terror. So hopefully you guys check that out, or we'll check those out. I think I went first last time. What do you have this time?
So this one this isn't necessarily a deep cut. It's actually a more recent film. I want to say it's about maybe 12 years old, 10 years old, something like that. But I'm going with Mama with Jessica Chastain and Nikolai Coster-Waldau. Great pick, right?
That one surprised me as well because I didn't have any expectation. I had very low expectations for that because
I had no idea what it was. It was rated PG-13. So I was like, what are you really going to do? I got excited when I realized, Guillermo del Toro is presenting this film. And sure enough, they do a lot. So I know I've spent a lot of time kind of dogging on some other films that don't lean into the R rating with what they can do. This is one of those that does do the PG-13, and they do it really well because they're not going into a murder gore fest. They're going into a heightened sense of anxiety and haunting with what the mama actually is and how the story kind of plays. Essentially, you have a couple, Nikolai Coster-Waldau and Jessica Chastain, who Nikolai Coster-Waldau's brother and sister die. And he is, I shouldn't say bequeathed, he's kind of the godparent of their two daughters. They do find, the scary thing about this is the daughters have actually been living alone. I mean, they're young children. They've been living alone for a long time before they're found. So they're kind of integrated back into society while Nikolai Coster-Waldau is taking care of them. And Jessica Chastain, who doesn't want kids, is kind of the de facto stepmother. But come to find out that these two little girls, they're not as alone as you think they'd be, and they haven't quite been alone during the time that they've spent by themselves where they were before. So I will leave it at that, but you do come to find out that, well, I should say I'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything. So great recommendation, Mama, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, and Jessica Chastain. Check it out. Great watch.
And I will second that because there are some really creepy visuals in here where it really does fit into the PG-13 rating. And I try to imagine me watching this as like a high schooler, a middle schooler or whatever, because I think I saw it in theaters. So
yeah, it's a while back
at how old I was. But yeah, but like if you're, going out with your friends on a Friday night, like this is one that would probably stick with you. And it's like you said, you can't really say anything about it because they don't want to ruin anything, but like the ending still shakes me.
Yeah.
Just how it comes to fruition. So yeah, great recommendation. Mine's going to be a little divisive, at least in the horror community from what I've seen, which I don't necessarily agree with it. So I'm interested if you've seen this one and if your take on it. But I'm gonna go. It is a French film that is dubbed in English, and it is called High Tension. And this one, I don't know if you've seen this one, have you?
I have not.
So this one follows two friends. They are going to, I believe they're college students. They're going to one of their family's summer house out in the boonies, and they get there, and a serial killer comes in and starts targeting. It's a home invasion movie, and the gore in this one is really good. There is a twist ending here that I personally enjoyed, but that's where it gets a little divisive. So I'd be interested. Check it out. The bad guy in this is really creepy looking. The kills are off the chart on how crazy they are. There's some really good gore in here. Obviously, you have to be in the mood to watch a English dubbed movie. But if you get through the first 5-10 minutes, you get used to it, and it's pretty easy to follow after that. But, yep, exactly.
You get used to the subtitles.
It's weird at first, and then not so much. But yeah, High Tension. I believe it was released in 2006, 2007. So not too new, not too old, right in there. And yeah, so check those out. Let us know what you think. Definitely, for sure, Mama. Obviously, I will support that one. And then interested to see everyone's take on High Tension. Like you saw at the beginning of the show, we read off some of the funny messages on Facebook. I'm trying to keep up with them all.
We want to hear them.
But follow us on Instagram at the Roasted Snow Horror Show. Follow us on Facebook, same name. Check us out on Spotify, Amazon Music. Yep, at Roasted Snow Horror at gmail.com. Would love to get you in on the conversation on there. I would love to hear some of your ideas and mention them on the show. We love talking about this stuff. We could talk about it all day, all night. We do have to sleep, though, at some point. So, guys, check out Sisu. Check out Sisu 2. They are a blast. You will have a good time. Even if you aren't great on blood and guts and violence, it is still so much fun. It's so great.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and then next Wednesday, we're actually going to do one that I'm very excited about. We've talked a little bit about it, but we are going to do a random wheel. And if you've listened to episodes before, we've done this with other franchises, but we're going to do saw traps.
Hey, John, please. Please don't kill me. That's the last thing that you should be worried about. Now, I want to play a game.
And the way that this is going to work is we're going to spin the wheel on a random trap, and we're going to decide if we could survive it. If Chris could survive it, if I could survive it, why we would, why we wouldn't. And we have to be honest about it. You're not Superman, okay? Got to be honest about it.
And I don't like pain, so I don't know how far it'll go for me.
No. There's probably going to be a lot that we can't do, but we'll try and tough it out and see which one we think is maybe the most unbeatable and which one's the most beatable. So check us out on that. We love all these movies, so keep it going, guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. So, Chris,
take care, listeners.
It's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
See you, man. Bye.